We're good to go. All right, welcome back, everybody. 10:30. We'll begin with, I believe, Jen, you're going to take over for this briefing on the...
Yeah, so I talked to Kevin Shutty last week about the funding for this program. And the question, I believe, was should the funding come out of opioid or treatment sales tax?
Or both.
Or both. My recommendation, and I did talk to Dave Windom about it, would be treatment sales tax. Just because it's an ongoing funding source where the opioid funds are not. So the total would be $225,000 over 3 years, so $75,000 a year. Treatment sales tax has money available. So, I mean, that's my recommendation. The opioid funds, I did get the cash balance as of February 1st is $1,452,000. And then we have the money that we've allocated in 2026. None of that has been spent yet, but we have a total of, we have $25,000 for the coroner, $150,000 for the sheriff, and then North Mason Fire, $175,000. So there's still a little over $1.1 million available in opioid funds.
I didn't grab the wrong sheet. What's the amount they're asking for?
They're asking for a total of $225,000.
Over 3 years.
3 years. Yeah, 75 a year for 3 years. Yeah. So, so the money is available in both of the funding sources. However you want to do it.
Okay. Well, and that's I've seen them in all over Mason County. And they did a presentation, I believe it was through the chamber, or did they just do it themselves? Anyway, I was up at the outfit, and they're doing great through all of this, so I would support it to come out of the TST.
Diversification is always wise, but I still support the project either way.
Yeah. 3 nods. I agree.
Okay, so I'll add that to the budget amendment that we're going to do in June. Thank you.
Another one. How many do you have so far?
Oh, I don't. A few. I mean, it's pretty normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep track.
Oh, I can keep track. But,
Obvious.
yeah.
And for clarity, was that funding solely out of TST? Is that what you were agreeing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back up to the top now.
Here.
Thank you. I grabbed the wrong sheet. I have tomorrow's agenda.
Good morning, Commissioner.
That'll be you,
Good morning.
since I don't see Dave in here.
I haven't heard anything this morning.
Are you
Although
feeling better?
I am, but I can't hear at all out of this side. So, is my volume okay?
That's okay. You only need to
Okay, I
listen to
don't
me.
know if I'm yelling or not.
What were you saying?
It's
So
papaya enzymes.
what's that?
Papaya.
Oh, does that help?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
If your ears are plugged, it'll clear
yeah.
it up.
It's really, really hard. I'm having a really great week. Okay, I have 3 items. The first item is just an informational update. The annual funding priorities for the Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board. And so this is laid out exactly how it's been in previous years, where there's priorities for housing and homelessness, as well as for behavioral health, substance use disorder, and mental health priorities. This year, a newer priority is system level wide, so things that aren't really specific to either of those sectors. It's really just system-wide across the board. We continuously do evaluation and assessment and a landscape analysis of what's currently available in the community, where there may be gaps, and those are the things that are used to determine where things like treatment sales tax can help fill those gaps. For housing and homelessness, there's actually two different ways that it's prioritized, one by subpopulation and then by intervention type. And so the rationale here is it's a lot cheaper and more cost effective to keep people housed than it is to be on the kind of chronic homeless side, needing emergency shelter and those types of interventions. And then we are continuing to work very diligently on gathering data for all of these programs so that the board can make really informed decisions on how to fill gaps. And unfortunately, we've all been on a rotating cycle of sickness, so it's taking us a little bit longer, but we're hoping by the February meeting, we'll have some data to review. Are there any questions about?
Not for me. I sit on the committee, so
Yeah, you're familiar with it.
I'm very familiar with it.
The next two items are both amendments for Crossroads Housing. One for the Consolidated Homeless Grant contract. As you may recall, this year we were about 20% less in funding for across the board for our homeless response system, so there was a lot less funding for rental assistance. But we did maintain a reserve so that we could apply more funding as needed, and we are at that point where we already need more funding. So this amendment is adding about $40,000, a little bit less than that, to maintain the rapid rehousing rental assistance program. That's for 5 currently enrolled households. So this is to maintain their housing stability, and then providing rental assistance for an additional 1 to 3 households. And this is going to be through the end of June of this year. About $11,000, a little bit less than that, for diversion. So this is typically used for move-in assistance, or if somebody can, if there's just one-time assistance that someone needs to maintain their housing or stability. And this would be for 3 to 6 households, and then $40,000 for eviction prevention rental assistance. So again, keeping people housed and preventing them from becoming homeless. So total, that is $89,976,000, and we have that in reserve from our Consolidated Homeless Grant.
Does that renew in July?
Yes, so as a reminder, these are 2-year contracts, but we only awarded the budgets for year 1, and then we'll do an amendment for year 2.
And it's the fiscal year.
Pardon?
It's a fiscal year.
Yes. Okay. The next item is a contract amendment for housing and essential needs. So the purpose of this is to add about $56,517,000, again, funding that we already have in reserve, for Crossroads Housing to maintain the same level of service that Community Action Council had last year. So they are still in a transition period. Part of this amendment is also adjusting the budget and moving some funding between categories. Again, because it was a new program for Crossroads, projecting what was going to be needed was a little bit difficult, so we're able to do an adjustment for that. Any questions?
That's great.
Thank you. This head movements is very helpful. That's all I've got.
So back to Mason
Back
Matters.
to Mason Matters. So, we have been the host for Mason Matters for some years. And about 3 years ago, Choice pulled out their funding, so we bumped ours up, and we use that funding out of the Local Public Health Sustainment Fund, which we get a little bit every year from DOH. And we're looking to do, again, $75,000 from that, and that helps Mason Matters fund their executive director, and then Mason Health picks up the remainder to make sure that we wages, and then they pick up the benefits and that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of a partnership between the county and Mason Health to make sure that Mason Matters has some staffing, and then our executive director's out there getting grants and doing great things. And I mean, it's something that really works for us. So we're just looking for you to renew the contract and move forward with this year.
I like it. Julie does a great job.
What's that?
Julie does a great
She
job.
does a great job. She's feisty.
She is. She
Yeah.
is. I just adore her.
Yep. So, this will go on the next action agenda, because it's over the $15,000 limit for me.
You mean tomorrow?
What's that?
You mean tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
I didn't set it up for tomorrow, but,
Mackenzie's in the room. You should ask her politely.
I am already having to amend it, so if you are needing to.
yeah, it's not a heartbreaker for me if we don't, but if you can, that'd be great.
Well, we'd always set up the thing for emergencies only.
Yeah.
That was what we're supposed to do, not
Yeah,
for.
and that's, yeah, exactly. So that's what I have for Mason Matters. I did want to just give you a little fill-in. I did talk with our members from the 35th, 7th, and the 8th legislative districts around funding and what the projection is for funding. So the governor's budget looks like that's probably not going to affect us much in public health, because they're going to go in a completely different direction. So it's a wait and see at this point to see how that's going to pan out. I'm sure there will be cuts to public health, but I don't think it's going to be that as drastic as what the governor's budget proposed. So we'll have to see. I mean, you'd be wrong. You know, it's still, we're only 1/3 of the way through the session. Bill cutoff is this week. House of Origin is the end of this week, I think, and then, so we won't really get into budgets until after the 12th, when the budget forecast
Almost
comes
2
out.
weeks. isn't
It's about 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it? 2 weeks.
yeah,
Committee cut off, I think, is next week.
right. So, we'll be watching that, and I'll just keep you in the loop with what I'm hearing. And the last thing I had was flu. Emergency room visits on flu have doubled in the last 2 weeks. So it's on a steep climb.
And it was all your fault. You come in here sick.
I have a cold. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it got right with the program. A little bit later in the season than normally is, so.
It
I think
hit
that-
our house.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Yeah, I always tell people as far as when the governor releases his budget, I'm like, just don't freak out.
No.
He's one of 3.
And, you know, we submitted some, I submitted some, with help from Jacob, some funding proposals. So we looked at the governor's cuts and said, okay, how do we allocate those cuts? And then we flipped that argument on its head. Let's ignore the cuts and just figure out what we have left and figure out how to allocate those funds across the 35 health jurisdictions. And then we decided, this is silly. Let's just drop this discussion until we see what it actually looks like, and quit expending energy on something that may never come to pass. So that's where we're at right now. We're just gonna hold and see where it goes from there.
Also, real quick, have the Wasalfo session bills, has that changed any? I know that there's been similar or some changes too.
Yeah, I'll send out the current Wasalfo. I think we did very little policy stuff this time, just because
There's more funding.
it's about funding, and we're letting WASAC lead the charge on all the policy stuff.
Okay, so if it's nothing different than what WASAC has, then
No,
I'm good.
no,
Yeah.
no, so we're letting WASAC take the lead on that, and we'll see how it looks in 2 weeks. That's when the real work starts, is once the budget forecast comes out, that's when you start digging in and trying to figure out, who deals with who.
That's when they start digging into the budget stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I hate to get involved too much in policy early, because you tend to get traded off towards the end of the session,
You do.
so.
It's quite the game.
Yes, so I'm scheduled, I think, over there on the Hill for the 17th or 18th to go and spend the day,
Okay.
so. And really, they're already in the budget, so I don't know, at that point,
Yeah.
how many conversations I'm actually gonna have with legislators. It's gonna be with leg aides. So,
Yeah, I'm finding the same thing,
Those are the more important ones, anyway.
well, a lot of times, yeah.
especially if you take them chocolate. Not that I would know.
Okay. But I will send out the latest Wasalfo.
Okay.
And there were several around the vape tax fixes.
Right.
Because that's what hit us hard this year, and even if they fix them, they won't get fixed in the 27 budget.
Well, and there's also different fees and things like that connected to that they,
Depends on which bill you're looking at, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So
one-
until after, give it a couple more weeks and then we'll know more.
Right, right. So I'm just kind of watching things on cruise control at this point.
Cool.
Anything else?
Nope. nothing.
Okay. All right, sounds good. You can call later.
Thank you.
All right.
But probably ends up.
I'm gonna look into that.
Hey.
Public Works. No.
Yep.
Yeah, Public Works. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The rain is back.
Is that what that is? I was
Did it go
confused.
away? I did miss that.
I know, missed that memo. It did for a little bit.
A little bit. Supposed to have some.
How's it go?
We'll talk about that in a bit, yeah.
Smoke's wet.
It is wet. Our first action agenda item, Commissioners, is the annual road levy certification.
Yeah, so County Road Administration Board annually requests us to certify the road levy and any diversion to that, so this is for 2026. And we're asking for the board to authorize the chair to electronically sign, which he already has.
I'm good. Done, done, and done. On it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a must.
Yeah, so the next action item that we're requesting, Commissioners, and apologies, Richard's out sick today, so otherwise he'd be presenting this, but we are needing, as you know, to wrap up the general sewer plan, and since our last contract is long gone, we're looking to hire another consultant. And we're expecting this to come in under $100,000, and we're requesting authorization to select a qualified consultant to complete that work.
So that 100,000 is for the 10% remaining?
Pretty much, yes, yeah. There's gonna be updates due to all of the revised calculations for the planned action EIS, so the upzoning basically. So we'll see how sharp their pencil is, after we provide what we have, because the financial pieces have been completed for the most part in-house. Update to the CIP's been completed. A lot of the CIP work actually has been completed. So it's more of a forward projection now, so.
And
updating
CIP is,
the capital improvement
Thank you.
plan, yes. Yep.
too many acronyms.
I
Gotta
know,
ask.
not to be confused with the capital facilities plan.
I have to ask.
Right, yeah. So that's what this request is for. Questions?
No? I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then just a couple of discussion items. Skokomish.
This morning, we got an emergency permit from Fish and Wildlife for an HPA to do a repair on the on the levee at about milepost 3.58, where the 76 station is before you get to Eels Hill. We own some property back there. Some of the dike damage is on our property, but most of it's on the neighbors, and we've already got permission to repair that. What it's doing is it's flooding our road to the point we're closing that section of the road before anything else. And so we're concerned that it will jump, the river will jump, because the dike has been cut so low that it's at basically the bottom of the river. So it's flowing water even during our cold snap, was flowing water over our road. So it finally got down low enough where we can inspect it. It's not a real large area, but it's something that'll take a couple days to fix. So we're out there right now doing some clearing and try to get a better picture of what's broke. But we'll get in the next couple days and get it plugged up, at least temporary. So So it's something we'll have to look at this summer for more of
Just
a permanent
drier.
fix, so. But there's several locations on that dike that are that way and are getting worse. And so overall, we'll have to talk to the board about what responsibility we want to take on that, because the had a diking district, but it was dissolved in 14 or 16. And it never really explained who's responsible for it after that. You know, if you leave it up to each individual property owner, well, one guy doesn't, then what's the point? So it may be something that the board has to kind of make a call, how involved we want to be on that. Because it is going to get our road. We've got some photographs of 2007 where it blew up our road. 2017, 2013 we did a repair. We've done several repairs out there. When it actually blows, well, we might want to do something a little more proactive and maintain that stuff in the summertime so that we don't have the problem here in February. So it's something to discuss anyway.
How active was that board?
Is that?
How active was that committee?
I don't know. I've never been. I didn't get here to 20.
Yeah,
So.
it was very active when it was first created. Funding was pretty limited because it was a junior taxing district, and the levy amount, I think, was maybe at the most we collected 17,000, 11, 12 for the flood control district. And then that was not every year. So pretty limited funding. And the initial funding was very focused on doing the comprehensive flood plan for the Skokomish Valley, and then a lot of the early study work that then the most recent Army Corps of Engineers work built on. So it was the foundation for that. And then there were projects that were funded out of it, typically as an emergency, so reactive as opposed to proactive. Yeah, and it was an elected board, and I believe the county facilitated for the most part. Yeah.
Okay.
So, just adjacent to this, have you heard any more progress or what's happening with the Skoke Valley and Conservation District and moving of massive amounts of?
That's a good question, because they are kind of related. Part of why the levee repair work, has not been a huge focus, is that we were thinking that we were moving ahead with a lot of the Army Corps of Engineers recommended projects. And so 2 of those projects, the CD is actively working and making progress on. One is the wetland restoration and at the dips, for lack of a better word, there. And then the other is work at the confluence with the North Fork. And that's where this repair needs to take place. So it's reached a point that Mike, rightly so, feels that we need to take action rather than wait for those projects to play out.
Because that could be
Yeah.
years down the road.
Yeah, I think that, and Evan can provide, I'm sure, a good update, but I know they're making progress on both. Is that my rotten phone? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's never on. Apologies, commissioners. Oops.
I'm not the chair this year.
What's my penance? I knew what chair. So, but the DIPS project is ahead of the confluence. And I know that I believe they're attempting to go out to add in the spring, about a year from now. Is that right?
That's been forecasted.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one first, and then the North Fork would be a project that would follow.
Okay.
So in the 3 to 5 year time frame, if all things proceed as they're hoping.
Yeah, that's the one we were both discussing.
One of the things on that one is, there's opportunities, but they have to be willing to look at those opportunities. Other than that, the only thing we can do is sit back and let them
Oh, yeah.
run into the same problems they ran into before. If you do the same, thing over and over again, you can't be surprised if there's no different reaction.
Yeah. All right, I think that was it. I just wanted to also give you a heads up, commissioners. We have 2 contracts that we'll start reviewing on the utility side. We have a lease agreement with the Victor Improvement Club for the Victor pump station. So we'll be meeting with some folks
They
this
own that
Friday.
property?
They do.
Oh,
Surprise. right?
Interesting,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, that's up for renewal and we'll be
Should we be
meeting with
looking
them
at buying it?
Friday. Potentially, so that's one of the
I don't
things
even know why
that,
potentially, it seems like if I'll put it this way, if I'd have known that we were leasing that for all these years, I'd have recommended buying it 13 years ago.
so, part of what we'll be talking about. And then, the other is we have a contract with the city of Shelton for biosolids. So we haul our biosolids to their plant. And that also is up for renewal this year. So we'll start our conversations with the city on that.
Eric's writing it down right now.
Uh-huh.
Sure that's easy.
Cake. Biosolids cake.
Oh, gross. That's nasty.
Right. Anything else, Mike?
More like
About it.
More like pudding. Yeah, a little bit.
Depending on the time of year.
Exactly. And then, Commissioner, we're following up on, with some Shetland RID items. So we have a meeting tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah, internally, just as our internal gathering, and then we'll get together with Brittany and the rest of the team.
Sounds good.
So that we
I
can.
perked up when you said that, so.
Exactly, so we can get this RID final assessment rolling.
All right.
Did you respond to,
I have not yet. We're gonna do our meeting tomorrow. I'll at least respond to her though and let her know that I'm following up on your behalf.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Anything for us, commissioners?
Nope.
All right.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Thank the crew. You're doing a great job.
Yes.
Now our treasurer.
Okay. I'm up next.
Yay.
All right.
And then you're up again later.
Later, yes, I know. It's a nerve-wracking day.
Yeah.
Okay, so, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I've got 2 items on the agenda today that, just yearly items that we present to you. The first one being our listing for our 2025 uncollectible personal property taxes. And I've provided a listing of, this is a listing that we work off of all year. We try to collect, we go through a process of trying to collect the taxes by sending out certifieds, doing lots of research, that sort of thing. And when all else fails and we are at wit's end and are unable to collect them, we do a listing and cancel those off. So this year, the total listing was $1,722.39 that we already canceled off for that. And then my next item, unless you had any questions on that, my next item is.
How long do you pursue how long do you go through
Years.
the process of pursuing?
Years.
Years.
Yes, so the year, yeah, so Heather in our office, this is, one of her main jobs is to, reach out to to the best of our ability to pursue the collection of these throughout the year, so, sometimes it's just a matter of the tax is so little, it's, we're covered, with the RCW, we can just cancel those off if we, exhaust all our efforts. I mean, of course, we try to, I mean, we don't just cancel them off without following through our procedures, and that, our steps for that. But we are able to cancel those off if we are unable to collect them, so once a year, so. Okay, and then the next item is another listing of all the 2025 property tax refunds that we did in our office. And so, so for the year, the number of refunds we did was 275. Of that, the taxpayer refunds were $434,424.07. The total treasurer refunds was $26,569.05, bringing the total amount that we refunded to $460,993.12. And that is just for you to acknowledge that we have done that.
And those are all taken place already. So.
Correct, yes. And that is all I have right now until the finance committee meeting. Unless you have any other questions.
Which one is directly it?
Okay.
So I've been getting phone calls on a different issue that's going on. Could you explain to me, please, how the exemptions work, the senior exemptions?
Those are ran through the assessor's office. They handle those. So what happens is once they're approved, there's a tier, is my understanding. So there's like an A, B, C, and rate depending on your income.
Okay.
So income levels. There's also the disability exemptions. Those are all ran, and they apply for those through the
But you
assessor's
don't know
office.
what's exempted, that would be the assessor. has
Correct,
to.
yep, so
I
once they do their whole process and calculate that and approve them,
Yeah.
that bumps it over to our office and we just handle the paperwork part
Because
of
I'd
it.
always thought that you're just exempt or you're not. I didn't know
No.
that there's special things that they have to do, because it has to maybe be in the verbiage when they create it. That's where the issue I'm trying to figure out, because I thought other things were just exempted, just like an ad valorem tax or whatever.
Oh,
but we'll
without having
find
to
out.
apply or anything, like they were just auto, like,
Well, if they meet the exemption status,
Right.
then they don't pay taxes on it, but apparently it's different items, like a lake management district may be exempt from that unless they specifically put it into the construction of it, so I'll find out more, I'll ask them, and try
Yeah,
to
I
figure
would
out,
ask
because I've never heard that in all my years, but if it is what it is what it is, but.
yeah, so I know that the senior exemptions, they have to apply for it, fill out an
Well, that part I
application.
know,
There's
yeah.
certain, things that they can deduct and that sort of thing. And it's a tiered based on it's a
I
tiered
just meant
rate.
that there's some things they are exempt from, some things they aren't, that's what I
Oh,
didn't catch.
specific taxes
Yeah,
that they're exempt from.
I just thought it
Oh,
was,
that
they
they
were.
have to always pay. I see what
Like
you're
the
saying.
lake management.
Yeah, like
Right,
lake management, so I'll have to find
okay.
out, I'll learn more as we go.
Yeah, that I'm sure there absolutely is. They just, do more of that over there. I don't know the specifics of what they do and don't have to pay. I mean, once they have calculated it all and entered everything into the system, we we
think
handle the billing part.
Yeah, I think when we did one before, we actually put it in to make it so it wasn't, but maybe it goes for all of it now, I
I
don't
wonder
know.
if that's like a state mandated.
Well, most likely it's
thing.
somewhere in the
Yeah.
state, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gotta find out what those
Yep.
codes are so I can look it up and
Or is
see
it
it, yeah.
something that has to go in front of the BOE?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
Maybe.
don't know.
Or even
That would
us.
be a really
There's
good-
3 or 4 different options, but won't know what they are until I see what
That's
it
a really
is.
good question.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Yeah, no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you in a few minutes.
Yes, I'll stick around.
Good call.
Travis.
Yep, so I think I got Mackenzie up first.
Oh, good morning, commissioners. Again.
Okay, I did want to pop a quick update in there real quick. So I have an update for the Mason Transit Authority Board. Sheriff Sperling said that he's not gonna seek reappointment to the board. However, I did receive an email from Richard Lee saying that he would like to continue. So if it's okay with you guys, I'll update tomorrow's packet to reflect that.
For reappointment of Richard Lee?
And to solicit for 2 vacancies. And then the next item I have is there were a couple clerical errors on the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce contract that Deidre brought to my attention. They were in the title for the Shelton Caboose VIC contract. It's referencing Hoodsport, however, the caboose is located in Shelton, so she was hoping to get that amended, and I agreed. And then the second one.
This is for lodging tax.
Yes, for lodging tax. The second one is for the Hoodsport VIC, which is Visitor Information Center. It didn't reflect the correct chamber signatory title, and Exhibit A for scope of services didn't show the correct hours of operation. It didn't show most of the hours of operation, so she had concerns about that too, because that's what they use to report off of. So she wanted to make sure that what she was reporting reflected accurately. I did receive a call from John Hansen, who is Rachel Hansen's husband, from Northwest Event Organizers. There is a clerical error in that contract as well, where for the cost, it's showing that it's for the life of contract, $686,000. So for the whole 2 years, that's the budget. However, I believe it should be an annual budget amount for the 686.
It is.
So I did speak with Tim, and Tim agrees that we need to get that contract amended as well. But I'll bring that forward next Monday, that way you guys are able to see that. And then my third item with Kelly is updating the Memorial Hall rental policy and procedures. If you wanna.
Yeah, so we had a couple situations where people outside of Mason County is coming to rent or coming to get the hall. We let them use the hall if you're a nonprofit organization. Well, I don't believe we even ask how you're a nonprofit. If you tell me you're a nonprofit, you're a nonprofit. That's kind of how it goes. But we're to the point where we are using that hall almost every day on a nonprofit, Saturdays, Sundays. Some of the people that are regular people ain't being able to get in or use it for what they wanted. So we went back and looked at the policy, and they did a couple changes. There's a Pinnacle group that goes in there. There's the Rotary that goes in there. I think Kiwanis goes in there. It would affect a lot of people, and I don't know how. I pay about $180,000 a year on that building to keep that building up and going. What am I going to pay if they're not in there? Probably $180,000. I mean, it's. I don't think you still got to keep the lights on. You still got to keep the heat on, but.
We must, in case you didn't know, we must by law provide a place for the veterans.
For the veterans, we
For
have to have a
veterans.
place.
For the veteran service officers.
Yes.
Yes.
Is providing this function to nonprofits costing us more? I mean, should we be raising the
Sure.
price?
I mean, I'm definitely keeping the heat on now 7 days a week instead of the 5. It used to be only 3, but now DAV's there the other 2 days now. So you have the Legion or the Post or however that,
Yeah.
for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, DAV's there. So I do keep it open during those hours. I mean, we decertified, if that's what you want to call it, the kitchen. So it's not a certified kitchen anymore. So if people want to come in and use it as a commercial kitchen, that's no longer an option for them. They can go to the health department and get permitting and specialist things, and that they're allowed to do that.
So for the nonprofits, we do require that they be a 501c3. We don't verify that. We try to trust that they're giving us accurate information. We can require an EIN for them to provide to us so that we can check that. I know the veteran service officers had a couple suggestions too for limiting rentals to Mason County residents only. And then grandfathering in the groups that already meet at Memorial Hall for the meetings. So we do have NA, we have Rotary, we have,
4-H, which is one of our own, I mean, that's a county function, so of course that would be,
Yeah, but I do know that there's been issues with like a Thurston County group coming in and not returning the key.
yes.
yeah, Thurston County just
So-
came, Thurston County NA,
Did they
that's the
ever-
ones that came in.
Did they ever return the key?
We
She
did get the key
mailed
back in the
it.
mail.
So that-
Nicole found on, everything that comes through goes through either me and Nicole. She looked for the insurance stuff and they used the wrong insurance, so, I mean, we caught that. But what's gonna happen with that is they're just gonna say they're part of it. They use the same insurance. NA's NA worldwide, so they got all the same insurance.
So I spent years on the different advisory panels for different things before even becoming a commissioner. I'm the one that wrote the ones for the school district stuff. We ran into problems when it came to trying to keep people out of the thing that were not considered from within our school district and stuff. But I found a way around it, kinda. We charge double for those that are not outside, that are not inside. That was, turned out to be allowed. And so we might want to consider that, or even triple. It's a little easier to do, and it might even bring in revenue if they can't find something else. Another thing that we did is we gave priorities. For example, school things took precedent over everything else. For us, it would be county and veteran. And then maybe what we did then is we did youth groups, for example, came priority next, then other nonprofits, then outside entities. So you end up with a hierarchy of who can use it and get use of it. When all things are equal, the locals, veterans, county stuff would take precedence. And if they still made it through that, then they pay a different rate.
Okay.
That'd be my recommendation. I know those legally, we were able to pull all that up, and with school districts, you can understand, they checked everything. It's a lot of the stuff we do with grant monies and stuff that built it, or just like we have grant monies that paid for different things in that building. We know it won't be outside of that. RCO grants are one of the tough ones. They want to make sure that you keep it as an allowed use, but they have no problem with keeping it as allowed use that twice the price.
Well, right now, we get actually zero income from that building. I think actually
We get a little bit.
NA pays $100
A
a year.
month.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
They're not real consistent like that.
No, they'll, mostly monthly, they'll bring in a $50 to $100 check just as a donation. We do get a few birthday parties, not very many.
But even for the nonprofits, we should probably, just because you're a nonprofit don't mean you don't make profit. A lot of these nonprofits do very well, but it can be minimal.
Okay.
But something that should go towards the power bills and stuff like that, a $25 fee, a $50. The ones that are free are county and veteran,
Okay.
completely free, I mean.
Okay,
Yes, I'd
so,
agree with that.
so would we wanna look at, county and veteran will do absolutely free, maybe have the 501c3s at a lower
Yeah.
rate.
And you might wanna
then-
check that, C3 is very limited, there's a lot of 501s that are nonprofit organizations, but the 3 just is a specific thing that they can't do this, this, or this. But there's a lot of other ones that are, for example, Turning Point, do you know what they are? Are they a 3 or are they
They're
a?
3.
They're 3, okay. Cause there's other ones that are not.
Okay.
I do know that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is now looking into trying to use that and get that. They've already signed up for, I think, a New Year's party for this coming year, New Year's already. And
But as a 3, I don't think
They're
they.
not a
I was gonna say,
nonprofit.
They're a-
you can't be a 3 because
No, they're
a
nonprofit.
you're political, but,
Yeah.
a nonprofit.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's why we added the 501c3 in there, was because we were getting political groups that wanted that free rate as
Yeah.
well. But it was one of those, they didn't quite seem to be.
So I'm comfortable with a split there as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then do we want to double the rate for outside of the county? rentals, or it's completely up to you guys. I just want to make sure
Well,
that
it's either
we're.
that or we're trying to tell them no, but do you really wanna try and tell them no and then have
I
us?
would, yeah, I would just say let's double the rate, because it's not just utilities and water, it's also garbage and cleanup
Yes.
and, I mean, our staff, I know our staff goes in there and cleans up after parties a lot.
Well, our policy does say that they need to clean up their trash and take it with them, whether or
But
not they
they
do
don't.
it.
It
And
is-
Yeah,
What's
they
the
don't.
remedy if they don't?
so they do have to give us a security deposit
But
for
it's only
damage and
$50.
cleaning. I thought it was
300?
Is it 300?
300?
Or is it-
Yeah, so if
Thought I
they
read 50
don't
here.
leave it back to better than before, or at least what it was before, then we will keep that deposit.
I don't think we've ever done that.
I don't
And if we,
think so
if we also
either.
give priority to those other ones first, then that will cut it down to the ones that are the most important and willing to pay.
Okay, I'll
And
drop.
maybe start keeping the deposit from time to time, or at least portions of it.
Okay.
Because if they're not
If they're not
living
taking
up
out
to
their
their end
trash.
of the agreement.
Yeah, and it is 300.
And they will save money if they're not charging for the kitchen anyway.
Yes, so yeah, we do
So-
plan on removing that fee, so I'll draft another policy, bring that before you in the next couple weeks, and just see where your thoughts and feelings are at on that one.
I have no problem with doubling the fee for people outside the county. I mean, it's really there for our veterans, and then after that, it's,
Well, yeah, our requirement is for veterans.
I mean,
It's-
it
it's
has a lot of
really-
history. We've done a lot of, we've had
Yeah.
court there, and we've had,
Yeah.
I mean,
And we've taken grant money in order with different things, so with that, there's liabilities that go with that. I don't wanna challenge those liabilities. It makes,
No.
yeah.
it wouldn't make sense.
And the repairs, gosh, the flooring looks amazing. I don't know if you guys have been down there
Well,
lately,
they-
but
They've
it's
done
just
so much
beautiful.
over the years that I've been here. That building's been in trouble. Siding, remember the siding, how bad they used to put your hand right through it?
The outside isn't so good right now, but
Kelly has his work cut out for him
I was
with
gonna
that
say, but
building.
this is its next life though, that it's not good, because all those years ago, literally, and we got money, I think, in grants to do that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
yeah, we got a historical grant.
yeah.
What's a historical building?
Yes.
It's registered.
It is.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that.
Was it actually given to the city first, and then the city ended up putting it on us, and they didn't wanna pay for
I'd
it?
give it back to them in a
I was gonna say,
heartbeat.
they didn't wanna pay for it, so they ended up giving it to us, and then we put it up for the veterans.
Oh, no, gosh, no.
Yeah, it was
No,
donated
you
by
can
an
keep that.
individual in the city, to the city, then the city was like, hell no. We don't wanna take that on back then, that was a long time ago, it's all in the deeds. That's the problem with being around here so long.
yeah, you got 3 nods on the doubling that price, so.
Perfect.
And hierarchy?
And the hierarchy,
Hierarchy,
okay,
yeah.
perfect. I will begin drafting that and I'll have something to bring back just so that I can double check with you guys.
Just remember, it doesn't kick people out though, somebody comes in later, they have a hierarchy on it, they can't just kick people out. That'd be the next fight we have, they come in here mad at us and say that, right? If we don't put that in writing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I think it's, no, it's
This is a good one.
Skipping John.
I believe it's John's.
John's
turn.
next.
John,
Moving into territory here and getting comfortable.
Good morning, Commissioners.
saying
It
John's
is
not
wood
good.
chip season, and the park that's selected for this year is MCRA. So we traditionally pay for that out of REIT. So the quote is just under $3,700, which I think is $36,6423. So I wanted to get a nod to put that on the approval
I support it.
agenda and move forward with that.
yes, sir.
Awesome. That's all I have.
You got your wood chips.
Thank you.
Well, hey, do you remember the battle a couple years ago though, over
Yeah.
wood chips, yeah?
Yeah.
Remember that stuff he brought in the
Yeah.
bag? Yeah.
Those were,
Chip
those
wood,
were
chip, chip,
still in the
chip wood.
administrator's.
Was it still in there? That's pretty bad stuff.
Who's your present?
I threw it
All right.
away. Go ahead.
All right. So, contracts, we have a tentative agreement that has been ratified, that has been ratified with the Public Works, consisting of the Teamsters and Operators Union. We have we're gonna retroactively make it effective January the 1st. We did in contract negotiations slide after the January 1st, so we're
within an acceptable time frame of doing the retro. It's pretty consistent with what we've done with the rest of the county. We have a 2.5% coming in the first part of the year. Second year of the contract, 2%. Third year of the contract, we're doing a 1.5. We do have a 3-year contract. It was a modest increase in tools and clothing. And then we also introduced shift differential. So the shift differential is $1 for every hour that they work between the period of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., but it does not stack with the emergency premium pay. So we're not doing the double dipping. Insurance in that contract, we're doing consistently with we did with the rest of the county, the $52. So with that, I will be requesting to move that to the action agenda for tomorrow.
I am supportive.
That's awesome. Yes, we're very happy with that.
Support that.
I'll have another one coming up next week for you.
Yay.
So I do want to get the conversation started about our chief deputy. I'm sorry, chief public defender. Yeah, I can't get the two out of my head. So our chief public defender, the market's tight. Our position's been vacant for over a year now. We've had a couple of rounds of interviews, haven't really found the right person for the job. So we need to start potentially looking at elevating the salary for that to keep up with the market. The position's currently at $151,562. A recommendation to move that up about 30 grand, so we can start attracting those individuals who might take that's a kind of a tough job, especially with the things that are going on from the political environment with the changes in the case loading and stuff. So we really need to start looking at how we invest in that position to get the right person.
You know, when we do land and we sell property, we leave it on the market for a while to make sure that we've done the best we could to get the most we could out of the piece of property before we sell it. I'd say a year is plenty. And now we're doing the same thing in case anybody has any issue with it. We're doing the same thing. We've done our due diligence. We have found that this is what it's gonna come to in order to fill a position that we absolutely have to have in this county. And it's not something that we can even question. It is absolutely necessary. And so I appreciate all your work, and Commissioner Trask, I want to say again to you, appreciate all your work on it, because we use our backdrop for this particular position for the whole time, so thank you for that.
You got my approval.
I'll be digging into doing some research on it and be back. So
That was half. You have another half.
So we did talk a little bit about adjusting the chief public defender. The chief public defender is currently at 85%. So we're right at where we need to be.
Yeah, it was taken care of.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
25003.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So he just misunderstood me as reading it, or?
There was one that was following that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that position is slated for a 3.2% increase when this,
July.
in July.
In July, yes.
Yeah, when the
When they
Superior
all
Court
go up.
judges get their increase, it
Well,
dominates
then
through that.
personally, I still think the original discussion should go forward with the 2.5. I don't wanna have backup there, but we can wait and talk about it later, but I think
Yeah, we talked about the 2.5.
that was the original, what we thought, but then we found out it was not as high as we thought. So, but so I'd still like to go back to the 2.5.
So go to 87.5
Yes.
instead of 85.
Yes. If you're all in agreement.
Yeah.
So would you put that together for us, and we can put it all at the same time?
Okay, so we're gonna go 87.5?
Yes.
Okay.
Public prosecutors, I guess that's the same as.
So judge, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that. She's waiting.
Sitting and enjoying my day. My Monday morning.
Are you shooting things?
Check it out, that is the one thing about my
Throwing
phone,
things?
all the newfangled stuff, so now I got this thing, not that I'm ever gonna use it.
Oh, one of those things?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like, I can't get it out. So I'm not gonna use it, but,
All these newfangled.
well, I got a brand new phone.
It's just
Fair play.
something else to
This
lose.
is the big phone, even though it's the same size as my phone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good job, by the
Kim.
way. And good job, Commissioner Trask, on that as well.
And that guy right there too.
And I always want to call the undersheriff, it's just.
It's all right.
All these years, you guys too?
Yeah, my brain goes there too.
Yeah.
It's been a long time there.
Mr. Administrator.
Yeah, and Maggie for holding the office down.
Absolutely.
Totally. Me next? Hi,
Yes.
okay, good morning. So, good morning, Commissioners. So on the agenda, I've just put, a request, for defense and indemnification. The county was served with, a civil rights suit recently, Brandon Rubio versus Mason County et al. And there's 4 named individuals, Brandon Bitts, Jason Sanuski, Crystal Dierick, and Tanya Reed. Now with Crystal Dierick, she was an employee at the time. She is not an employee now. I did list her on here. I do not have a form for her yet. If you guys are, okay with this moving forward, as long as I have the form when it gets there, I'll list her on there. If not, I'll just have to go and request it again. But as long as, so I'm just requesting for approval to move this for action possibly tomorrow. Yep. So we can get an attorney file in a way. Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That was easy. Yeah. Easiest part of my day. Have a good day. You too.
Okay, and my next item is bringing back the memorandum of understanding with the city of Bremerton for sanitary sewer service. Commissioner Tarswell asked that I bring this back forward. The last time that this came up, we discussed the idea of going out for a feasibility study. Loretta has been working on that. It's my understanding she made a couple contacts at the end of last week. However, the commissioner asked that we bring it forward so that we can discuss what the disposition of the actual memorandum is.
Well, personally, I think the more I look into it, the more it seems like it's pretty simple. We're going to have to do some work on our sewer system. It needs to be expanded for our own use, and it needs to be repaired. Absolutely has to be done. I think you would agree with that comment. And either we pay for it, meaning we, the taxpayers of Mason County, are gonna pick up that full cost, or we share it with somebody who is willing to pay a higher price. Their number was 50%. We don't know what that would actually be, but we'd have to see. We actually can't get to the conversation unless we sign this memorandum. If they don't want to work with us, if they don't want to, give us a deal that's going to be beneficial to the citizens of Mason County, we don't have to move forward. But I haven't heard an argument that goes against that basic premise. It's either going to be all on the backs of Mason County taxpayers, or we're going to have a partner who's going to pick up a bigger share. So that's as simplified as I can get. The auditor wrote a paper here, or an article in the paper, and he said that Bremerton refused to pay for the study, which is not correct. They just said that Commerce won't pay for it. You saw the response. They sent off a request to Commerce and said, can Commerce pay for it? Because what we had put in there was that it would be paid for out of the Commerce grant. Bremerton checked with Commerce. Commerce said no. So that's the only response we have from Bremerton. I still think they should pay for it. I don't disagree with you on that. We wouldn't do it if it weren't for, we wouldn't have that expense if it weren't for making that connection. But that's still not, that doesn't preclude us from continuing on. But Commerce will not pay for it. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Couple of things, to counter what you're saying, but at the same time, I agree with you on something. Commerce, they were claiming that Commerce would pay for it. I still think with our legislators they might, but that's not even the issue. The issue that's before us was we have agreed and told the public that we will go out and find out what it costs for a feasibility, and we put that in there to see if they will pay for it. Not Commerce or whatever, and that's what we agreed to do, and that's what we're waiting to do, because that's what we said that we would do. And we can go back to the meetings and see the exact words.
Sure.
But with that, I wanted to just get a couple other parts on it. Yes, it's not accurate though that we can't work with them without having this. We've been working with them, we can work with them without having this. This doesn't preclude us from doing work with them. They have never, I want to clarify this, they have, unless you can show me different, please. They have never said they would pay 50% more. What they said is they charge that.
We can go back and look at the notes when they sat around the table here.
Yes.
That was the number that Ned had suggested. That's what they charge.
Yeah, what Ned said is that's what they charge, not that they would for us.
I
And,
agree with that.
And the only thing they ever gave us was actually completely different, because we do have papers from them. Theirs was not ever agreed to pay for anything. As a matter of fact, they didn't even want to pay for the regular hookup charge and stuff like that. They wanted to be paid by the gallon at the boundary. That's one of the things, although I just realized something. I don't know that you were here when we first got that. You may have been given that afterwards. Do you remember?
Which one?
When they sent back their actual written proposal to us, that we came this close to signing that, the original one they sent us. He wasn't here,
No,
was
that was
it?
before,
That was
but I
before
do
you.
believe you got a copy from Loretta.
Yeah, you probably got a copy, but,
Yeah.
but just to clarify, that there was nothing, that was one of the biggest problems. There also was nothing that would protect us in the way of building or any of the other things that we were looking at. There are other things that we have in consideration aside from even this. The first thing that I will say is, because we said we would do this, let's do it. Let's just get the number, put it out in front of them, and at least give them the opportunity to tell them yes or no they're willing to invest in or they're not. That's what you had said, and I thought that was as plain as day. I'm down with that. And that's why if you've noticed, each time I've gone along, kicking and screaming, but in the end, I go along trying to work with everybody and be as good a team player as I can. We find out what that is, we find out what that number looks like, and this way we have a feasibility. Feasibility is absolutely necessary. There's so many things that we have to consider. One of the main things we have to consider is the obligations we already have. Obligation to ourselves, $125,000 is our maximum right now. What is our obligations? But there's more obligations. We also, tens of millions of dollars in grants to build this, all with the premise of sewering the Belfort UGA. Not expanding it, not expanding and bringing more, because the tribes, everybody was involved with this. When they were giving us this money, it was to do a specific thing. If we go expand it, we may be in conflict with that. We also have other rules and laws that we have to consider. For example, this is why we need a feasibility. I don't expect you to know this, but if you go with the code, you'll find out that we have to charge our CFC charge for anybody that's hooking up based on our full build out. If we decide to do 165,000 gallons, outside of that, our full build out becomes a different number. So we could literally, we're only doing 125,000 gallons now. We could literally maybe have to charge twice as much for our people according to the law and our code. But that's something that would come out in the feasibility, right? I don't expect you guys to know it. I don't expect me to know it. I study this stuff all the time to be ahead of it, but at the same time, there's also a strength charge that has to be implemented somewhere. But you can't do a strength charge if you go off of what they said to us, which was they would have complete control of everything over that side. They don't answer to us on any of that. You can't have a strength control. Again, that would be in a feasibility, see what that looks like and how to do it.
What do you mean by strength control?
That's in our code. Our actual code, there is a control and a different rate that we charge according to strength. Whatever type of waste they send our way.
Discharge.
Yeah, and it's actually in our code, so, and I'm sure you'll look at it afterwards, but that's the things that I study all the time and looking over. Without that.
Richard's brought that up a few times.
Yeah, there are things that are in there, but if it's disconnected from us, we don't have any say in the bill, we don't have say of any of it. But again,
Right.
we can do a lot of that stuff.
But we have talked about that where we need a monitoring station at the border so that we know exactly what they're sending to us and put in remedies for if they're violating what they're sending down to us. We can't allow anything they're sending down to us. I mean, years ago,
Somebody just knock.
Yeah.
You heard it too.
Yes.
years ago I was
Is it
involved.
that door? It is.
Come in.
Come in.
Is somebody locked in?
Years ago, I was involved in a plating process. And we dealt with all kinds of toxic chemicals. Then this was 40 years ago. the hoops we had to jump through then to monitor everything that went down into our sewer system was substantial, because it was industrial waste. We couldn't put anything down there, and we had to prove it every week. We had to go through and we had to sample everything. So the sensors, the monitors, those things exist, and those are things that absolutely Bremerton's got to pay 100% of that, because we wouldn't need to do it.
I want to remind you, Bremerton's not the customer. Bremerton don't own any land there.
No. I'm saying if we make this hookup, this is something that would have to be installed in everything that's coming our way. We have to monitor it. We can't just say, oh, we trust that they're gonna make sure it's clean, or, you know, it's not gonna damage our system. That's on us, and they're gonna pay for that, because there's no way that we can be responsible to add something to our system that we wouldn't otherwise need.
And I agree with you. The only difference is our code and everything has it set up at the source. Not at a junction coming in. And again, that's not beneficial, but that it would need a feasibility to tell us what it is. But I don't see how it can be if we're not collecting the CFCs, we're not doing all these things. But our code says we have to, the state law says we have to. This isn't just me, and you'll be able to read all this stuff for yourself and look at it. So, but what it comes down to is we have a lot of liabilities. Currently, I was happy to go along, and we agreed to tell the public we would do a feasibility, we would, at the very minimum, put the feasibility cost in there and let them see and deny it. And if they denied it, I think your words were, well, then forget it, but we need to put it in. That's what we told the people we would do. It makes no sense to change it now. There's no reason to change it now. We can try to rush it through, but what are we rushing it through for? There's nothing to rush it through for. We can already work with anybody we want as it is, but we told the people we would do it this certain way.
I'd have to disagree. There's nothing rushed about this process. It's been going on for, pushing a decade. So, there's absolutely nothing being rushed.
Well, right is right, wrong is wrong. If we told the people we would do something, we should do what we told them. That's not that complicated, and if we do anything different because of the moment, then that is rushing. There's no need for it. But again, and I'm trying not to get angry about all this stuff and all like that. I can't believe we're bringing it up again, especially after I already agreed, but I'll deal with that. But I will tell you that we have to start talking at some point here about the liabilities and culpabilities. If we're making these decisions, then we need to have all this stuff in front of you, because then you can take responsibility for what you're doing. Like that other contract and everything else like that, that's important. Because I intend to hold us to it. I don't go after people, I don't say things, if you ever notice it. I've always found a way to come to peace. I've tried. One of the things about me is, I remember when I first started, people would say, well, Randy, I can't believe you did this. I said, but I told you I was gonna do it. They said, but it doesn't politically make sense, but I told you I was gonna do it. Well, in this situation, that's where I'm at. I'm telling you, I have to protect, and my loyalty is to my community. I'm not saying yours isn't, but I'm saying mine is, and I'm not confused, and that's what I have to fight for. That agreement that we had with the public was important. That's why I agreed to do it, and that's why I moved forward again. I'd ask you to please honor what we told them at the very minimum. It doesn't mean that it still won't get passed and go through or get sent to them. It's just more time until we find out what it is, and they're given the opportunity to sign on or sign off.
When you say they, you mean Bremerton?
I mean Bremerton. The one thing we also have to, let's not, something just came up now, let's not kid ourselves on this. Bremerton owns no property there. That's all still the one property owner, the one we've been helping this whole time and going through. That there also has some liabilities, but we'll deal with all that as we go. Right now, only thing I'm asking is that we fulfill what we've already promised. Let's just do what we're doing, and we'll deal with what's next. We already told them we would, so let's just do it.
So, but let me step back a second.
Sure.
The property that you're talking about is, according to Loretta and Richard, is 200 yards from the Mason County property, or from the end of the sewer line to Kitsap County. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a pretty...
The property I'm talking about, though, I see what you're saying, but that's not what I meant. I'm sorry, I maybe didn't say it well enough. After we get over into Bremerton proper over there,
Yeah.
they get the taxes, they get stuff like that. There's some individual property owners here and here, little pieces. some individual property owners here and here. But 80–90% is still the same property owner. It's all owned by one person. That's what I meant by that. Not the 200 feet, you're right,
200
yeah, 200 yards. It is 200 yards and,
Yeah, I just can't say that we have any control over what Bremerton has or doesn't have, or, you know, how they're gonna have it until we actually get to the process of actually start negotiating what the contract looks like. Right now, it's all this nebulous cloud of it's nothing. And I don't know how to move forward.
well, it's not. They gave us a contract that we didn't move forward with, number one, so we've already been negotiating that. But number two, I'm not even saying not to move forward. Please understand that, that's not what I'm saying. I already agreed, is what I'm saying. I already agreed that I would move forward, and I would still go forward with the other. When we have that number in the proposal that we're sending back, I've already agreed to that. That I would also stand up there again. And as you know, in my community, I get my rear end kicked for it, but I give you guys my word to stand by what I tell you, even if I don't like it. And I will still stand by it. I'm just asking you guys to stand by what we agreed that we were going to do. And then when that comes, I will do the same as I've done before. I will stand up there. I'll say that, you know, this is an agreement because we all agreed to do it. We all worked together. And I will stand with you again. I'm just asking us to fulfill what we already told the public on this part.
So the MOU, yeah, just a couple of things. The MOU, in there, we do have the feasibility would come out of the cost of the Commerce Grant, which we know it can't. I know we had questions about that before. So if we remove that language and put in the cost of the grant, not of the grant, of the feasibility study, would you?
That's what we agreed to.
So that's what you're saying,
Yeah,
that you would
yeah.
agree to. So all we have to do is change that language
Yeah.
and put in the cost of the feasibility study, because I agree.
And then I was gonna sign it.
I would like to hear that.
Yes, and
Yeah,
then I was
I
gonna
would
sign.
like to see that cost
Matter of fact, I
involved.
think that was actually your idea, because you said we should have a number.
Mm-hmm.
You said you would never sign anything that didn't. I wouldn't either.
So if we change that from paid for by the Commerce Grant, which Commerce says no,
Mm-hmm.
to paid for by the city of Bremerton,
Yes, and we were gonna give them an amount.
Right.
well, that's what that was the part I said, how do we put that in there?
Yeah.
Ask them to
Yeah.
pay for
And
it.
you said you wouldn't sign it without it, and I go,
No,
I don't blame you. So that's why we've asked staff to put together that number, so they would have an actual number to put in.
And that's what Loretta's doing right now.
Yes, I agree. And then when that comes back, I already agreed that I also would stand up there with you. I don't like it, but it doesn't matter. We're a team. We've always been a team, even when we fight and stuff like that, it's like family. I sign everything I've ever voted no on.
So, to explain to you why I asked Travis to get this on here, we need to have discussions about this, and we sit in our offices and we study and we do these things, and we can't communicate unless it's sitting at this table. So that's why
I'm with you
insist
100%, Commissioner.
that we bring that up and we have the discussion publicly, because it just sits and nothing happens.
Yeah, that's why we get that number, we put it over, we send it over to them, and as he said, they're either gonna do it or they're not. We'll know then. That'd be pretty simple. So with that, I'm comfortable all the way through. The idea of talking about it early, I'm good with that. I've always wanted to talk about it, but we're limited on what we do here, but I'm not limited with myself. I'm open to have these conversations, because I wanna talk to you guys sometime about what do we actually expect to get? What's our bottom line? You know, it's gotta be beneficial. What do you consider beneficial? We don't even know. I know what I consider beneficial, but I don't know what you do, and I don't know what you do. I know historically you've said over and over again, no, I meant your bottom line. You know, what your dollar amount is that you consider beneficial, that's what I meant. I was about to give you a compliment on it and say the one thing you said over and over again for the last year is, if it's not beneficial to Mason County, then it's not supposed to happen. You've said that over and over again. What that number is what I meant. I don't know what that is, because
I don't think any of us know that number.
well, that's what the conversation, I think, that he's talking about would come about. So I'm just making the point, I'm not against that, I'm for that, because how will we know unless we have those conversations? But first and foremost, move forward with what we agreed to do, put it on there, get the number, put it out there, and then if they're favorable, then we already know that we need to have those talks. If they're not, then what do we do?
So if we change that sentence, we could move this forward to say, I mean, I can't remember exactly how to word it, instead of saying, this will be paid for by the Commerce Grant, this will be paid for by Bremerton.
Study.
The only thing that I would,
Now, they'll wanna know how much it
yes,
is.
and that's why we wait for that, but I'm already there. I already agreed with you guys that I would do that, and I would vote with you on that, just when we switch that around. I also, one of the benefits of doing it this way is our administrator put together a great document, so I think we have a pretty good idea what it looks like now. Because we didn't talk to each other, we have our things we wanted, but we don't know. I think he put it together, and it appeared to me that all three of us looked at it and said, yeah, that makes sense. So with that, we know what it'll look like. This is the document, this is the thing we wanna get answers to. So I think we're already in a position.
Some of that may be answered by the study that the EDCs are
The
sponsoring.
EDC's looking at a beneficial study, a benefit study. We
Sure.
need to see what our
Yeah, yeah,
risk assessment
but
does.
some of that
But
might be
it's
answered.
yeah, some of it might, but I'm more interested in the stuff that's a danger to me than the other, but I'm
Better way
still
to-
there, just so you know. I'm not trying to, I definitely don't want to pull out of it or anything. I told you I would, and if we can continue moving on, I'm still there. I'm not,
So can we just change that sentence?
We can do that if that's what the commission.
well, it will change when we have the number to put in there and stuff.
Well, I mean, we can change it now,
Yeah.
saying they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
They're gonna ask,
And if they say
what's that
no,
cost? Well, we can still continue.
Well,
or they may even just say no.
yes,
They may say
but
no.
the thing is the only reason why I think that we need to be wise about not just sending it out now, we need to have the number, because the number's gonna be based on the type of thing that we're asking for. I don't,
Would you consider an up to amount, because anything over anything over what I'm thinking, well, I don't have a set amount or set number, but I don't think that a feasibility should cost $100,000. If it's $100,000, then how do we do it?
yeah, we just said we're gonna do one for our plan. It's
But it was
100,000
100,000.
for the, yeah, just for
But-
this small
but
part of
that's-
it, but
10%.
But I'm not against that. So I hear what you're saying, I'm not against that. I don't know what that cap would be, because I don't know what it looks like yet. As soon as Loretta comes back to us with numbers, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that number is.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think any of us do until she comes back to us. Then I don't mind having that conversation. I'm definitely not saying no to it, because at some point, maybe we talk about a little piece of it ourselves. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying no. I don't know what the number is yet, though.
Her guesstimate was 35 to 50,000, but we don't know that.
Except for, that was with some other parameters. I just wanna make sure we get what he put together. That's what I want. That was a good one.
So,
How much of that was already covered in the study that's going on now, or the plan that's
in
going
the
on?
general sewer plan?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a significant amount of overlap. There is some of it because the question is in there about capacity and the ability and expansion and those things. But I think most of the feasibility study that I put together had to do with the question of economics, which county benefits, do they benefit equally? Is it more beneficial to Kitsap versus Mason or vice versa? Those kind of things. So I do think some of those answers could be in the EDC study based on the limited amount that I've seen on there. So I don't know.
Some of it will be, but
Yeah,
not.
I believe so.
not
I just
all.
haven't seen the full scope of what they're gonna be getting out of their study. I guess the question for staff moving forward is, I mean, right now, it sounds like City of Bremerton would sign this MOU if that one sentence was struck, but that doesn't go to Commissioner Edelman's concern about having the City of Bremerton pay for that portion of the feasibility.
Or Commissioner Trask was saying she thought so too. But
Sure.
one of the things I wanna say is, that feasibility study that you put together, just so you know, when I read it, there's stuff I would like to have added in there, but sometimes you look at it and you go, you know what? That's the majority of what it is, so I'll just shut my mouth, and I've been told him that. I'll just shut my mouth and say thank you, because literally, what he put together was a lot better than what I had on paper for myself. Didn't include everything, but it's included enough to where somebody has to say thank you, and so I said thank you.
So I would have a two-part question. One, I think what Commissioner Tarswell is asking is, can we move the memorandum forward by simply saying that the work will be paid for by the city of Bremerton? Or do we delay that and say the work will be paid for by the city of Bremerton and the cost we anticipate will be this much?
I think that, so I'd like to know how much too, because if there's any chance that we're going to pay for part of it, I wanna know how much. You know, I'm gonna use the 100,000 just as a marker. Let's say it comes in, they think it's gonna be 125, but we sit at the table and say, as you said, we shouldn't have to ask them to pay more than 100 grand, that doesn't make sense. Then I'd probably look at you and say, okay, just because we're that close, I'll work, because that's what, we've actually gotten pretty good at that lately. And so I want to tell you, I am there for something like that. Now, if it was us pay another 100,000, you know, I'm not going to be okay with that because we can't afford it. So that's why I say, like, we see the number, we move forward, and we make stuff happen.
But I think that brings up another question which I would like to point out, or another point that I would like to make, is that right now, Loretta's making some unofficial contacts with several companies to get a general idea of the parameters. We have not gone out for an RFP on this, and if you really want to have a number to put in there, we would probably want to go through a formal process, putting together an RFP and finding out.
I think that's where Commissioner Trask's comments maybe come in.
Well, whereas if we do say that the city of Bremerton will pay for it, then it doesn't matter what the number is, they're gonna have to pay for that.
I lean that way, because it doesn't really matter what the cost is. I
But
mean,
they-
it matters.
But they would have to, as long as it said they would have to pay for the feasibility as we have it designed.
It's our feasibility study.
I
If
know.
they're gonna do one anyway for themselves, and I'm sure theirs is not gonna be
This is
concerned
the-
with what
I
our
did,
needs
I'll
are.
just throw out there, I did speak with Tim and asked him about the parameters that are around the feasibility study based on the MOU, and he says that as it's written now, there is no parameter. It can be $5, it can be 500,000, there's no dollar amount with that. So if you put in there that the city of Bremerton will pay for it, if they agreed to that, then it really didn't matter what parameters we put around it. So there's that to consider.
But we would definitely want to put the parameters of what you created. That's where, it'd be nice to know what the number is before we did something like that, because
I don't know, I would be comfortable just saying that the city of
They're gonna
Bremerton
pay
will
for it.
pay for it. And that way there's no cost to the county, other than staff time,
Well,
okay, then include his. and you'll
according to
include-
the parameters
Yeah,
of
and
the
you'll-
feasibility
Yeah, his document.
study
plan.
plan.
Study, RFP, I don't know.
How do you word that?
Very carefully.
I
would say-
I'm not gonna say no to it. Let's bring it back next week. Let's put it together and see what it looks like. I'm not saying no, because if it says that it still accomplishes what I'm asking for, I just wanna make sure it follows that parameter exceptionally well.
Right.
And then I would, then I think I'm saying yes, if we could pull that together.
All right, so if we come up with language, we're bringing it back, because we're here Monday. We
Yes.
don't have a meeting on Tuesday, but we do the next Tuesday.
Yes. But we're here Monday, so at least we'd see what it looks
It's
like.
the next Tuesday.
The 17th.
Okay, I'll still be
When do you leave?
24th.
Are you making up for your,
Rescheduled.
well, you have to explain to me how you just pull that off, you just got on another boat, and they just let you, or?
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gonna cost me an extra $50 each or something.
Oh, that's not good. For those that don't know, you got sick going on, before you went on a cruise, I bet you everybody was thankful you did not go.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
me, I was
Well,
like,
not a bummer if you got it figured out to where
True.
$50.
I really
losing
wanted him
all-
gone.
Losing all of it is the hard part, that's the.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if we follow that schedule, then I would bring it back next week, but then we would have to wait for another 3 weeks, so the full commission was here to vote on it, because he would.
No,
not
he'll
No,
be here.
he's gonna be here.
He'll
On
be
the
here
17th, I'll be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
24th is when I
Yeah.
leave.
Okay.
16th is
Then
a
I would
holiday.
also need some clarity around what it is you want the language to say, because I'm not certain
Well-
right now. I'm hearing that this work to be paid for by the city of Bremerton,
and
but
I'll work with you, cause all I want is what you did. That's,
Within the parameters of the plan
The
for
feasibility study that
Of this,
I
yeah, of this
outlined.
feasibility
Yeah.
study to include these things, and you attach it as Exhibit A.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that is the will of the commission, I can make that happen easily.
Sure, you know, that's,
Yeah, I wanna move it forward. And I think it's only fair that they pay for the feasibility study, if we're gonna benefit them.
And I will agree with it as well, as long as it's that one that you put together, I will agree as well. So we'll have all three again.
So then the final question for me is, do we want to move forward with actually crafting an RFP and sending that out now, or do you want to wait to
Can we wait
have that
until,
discussion?
That's a whole different,
yeah, I don't know that we need to move forward with the RFP
I would
until,
wait until they
If we're
say.
gonna
because
have-
if Bremerton just says absolutely not, we're not gonna pay for it.
And
Yeah.
If that were true, the way our auditor implied incorrectly, then it pretty much kills this whole thing, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, I think that works if they say absolutely not, or they wanna put some limitations on it, then we can, you know, yeah, we'll pay 75% or some number, then we can have that negotiation amongst ourselves, is that, you know, then Loretta will have some better idea what the cost is gonna be, even
Yes.
without an RFP.
So long as we
Right.
keep in mind that that is a generalized number and not a
Right.
particular.
and the same thing is at that point, it's not ours. If they agree to do that, they go out for the RFP, not us. Because our information, our framework, but they'd be the one that would go out.
I would
I'd wanna
be
be,
hesitant.
I'd wanna be a partner in that.
I'd wanna,
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
wanna,
no, I
have-
got-
I'd wanna have control over
I
it.
got no problem, and then put that in there as well, that we have control over.
Because I can guarantee if they wanna do it, you ask an accountant, you know, what is my numbers?
No,
He says, what do you
what do you
want
want
it
it
to
to be,
say?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me,
So
my
it's-
thing is, as long as it covers what he's doing, that's what I want, so. So we'll work on it and bring it back for an agreement next Monday.
Or an attorney, what, is it yes or no? Which do you want it to be?
Good.
I'm good. Let's see, I've got two other items that I would like to bring up really quick. They're not the briefing items, but we had discussed, I think back before the year ended, that you all were interested in having an elected and directors meeting. Originally, we talked about doing it in January. We all decided that January is crazy. So here we are in February, so I want to circle back and find out if that is something that you still want to do, when you would like to do it.
Yeah, I would still like to do it because I think it's important that directors and electeds understand where we're at with the budget.
I was gonna say, I wanna piggyback on what you said last year. I wanna do it based on the idea of the budget and that we have to work forward this year to put the two ends together. Great, that was your idea, it was a great segue into a great reason to sit and talk with them, rather than just sit around and, what are you doing? Be honest with you, those things gonna drive you crazy. When we're sitting there,
Oh,
give
when
me
you
an
see,
update.
when you see other electeds falling asleep,
Yeah.
you know it's boring.
Yeah, well, when we have, because I had to run one of them, there was 19 different, not counting our staff, giving each one 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I'd rather
And then
have,
some got mad at me because they thought I gave them less than 5.
yeah. Round tables are usually a lot more, are a lot better because then there's discussion and,
So then would we like to pick a date and time on that? Because I don't think that any day and time will be
can we look into
perfect
March?
to herd all the cats.
If we look into March, because you're gonna be gone the last part of February,
Yeah.
and
You pick a day and
I'll be
time
back.
and we will get the word out and.
let's do early March, cause then I go on a cruise. So.
Would you like
if
it on
we
a
do-
Monday after the briefings or
So Pat, you
Tuesday
get
after
back
regular meetings?
Eighth.
or-
the 8th, okay, so we could
If you
do,
do it Tuesdays after regular meetings,
yeah, if we
please
did
do it
it on
after
the,
like 1 o'clock because of chemo.
well, if we
I'll
do it
vote.
on the 10th, we don't have a meeting that morning. So we could maybe have our regular
We can do it at
meeting.
9 o'clock.
Yeah,
We can do it first thing in the morning,
I'm down with that.
yeah,
10th at 9.
yeah,
What,
March
I
10th.
think it would be helpful if we were to give Travis some general idea of what's the purpose, What are we trying to accomplish, other than just a BS
Yeah,
session?
I think budget is a great segue to start.
Well, and then we can also, that'll also help us understand what their needs are in their departments.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, I'd rather just do one or two things instead of,
Oh, I don't know that department updates, every department is,
he hasn't sat through one yet.
every
Well, I
department
would-
is so interesting, right? But what does the county wanna know? And what is a direct concern for, I guess, for the county, that's
Well, I would
where I'm at.
respectfully suggest that if you want to talk to the directors, you can talk to the directors anytime you want to at the briefings. You might want to focus on the elected
Oh, just the
officials
electeds.
because
Elected officials,
I like
I'm,
that one.
I'm there.
directors should, I think, come and
Well,
be
and
at the
just so you know,
meeting and
elected
let-
officials used to also.
yeah. Oh, I
Before
know
we had an
that.
administrator, they always, that was their thing, was to come and talk to us, right?
I'm simply saying you can direct it or request it at any time with them. I think the electeds would be the best to focus on and have our directors there. in case there's
My only
questions.
point was to try and help you give them some direction of what to be prepared for.
I'll put together a little agenda and then send it to you as the chair, and if you think that
Okay.
points it out, if the other commissioners are okay with that, then we can call
That
it.
works, brief us on Monday.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, that will work.
So I won't put it in my phone then yet, then,
No,
or are we putting it in?
mine's on my calendar already. I'm
That's
sure
what I
that-
meant.
I'm sure that
Yeah.
Mackenzie will send us a calendar hold.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Either her or Chris, I'll have one of them make sure they're on it. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up is just more for an awareness thing, but the salary commission needs to fire back up again and fire up quickly. I met with Jim Burrell from Peninsula Credit Union the other day to kind of start that ball rolling, and we're gonna be working on setting up some dates here pretty soon. Right now, we have confirmed 7 of the 10 for this last salary commission, the people who are still currently appointed. We're trying to get a hold of an 8th one, and we're probably going to have 2 that we need to replace. One of those will probably be one of the commission selection, which we did by application last time, and the other one would be one of the lot draw selections that the auditor's office handles. So I just want to put that on your radar, that'll probably be coming up.
Let's
I
do it.
also asked Tim, as far as the resolution is concerned, if we have to hold off on beginning the salary commission work until we appoint those positions, because we have a very limited time frame. The chair of that commission is going to be leaving the country in April, and so we really do gotta kind of push it through in February and March.
Also find out what it might take to do a sliding scale, where they do, some of the other counties have done it in the form of, it's a moving number or something each time. I'm trying to think of how they had done it the last time, and we couldn't do it this time, where they put it to the salary like we do for our prosecuting attorney and our chief,
Oh, to connect it with.
to connect it with,
Whether or not the commission can do that?
no, whether they
The salary
can.
commission.
I think he was saying there was something in the verbiage that did not allow that. We may have to change that if we want to consider.
You mean the salary commission?
Yes, letting the salary commission be able to do that. They couldn't do that last time, even though some of them wanted to look at it.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Well, it may make it a lot easier, so we don't have to deal with that if they set it up that way. And they don't have to come together all the time, and they can come together and look at if that still works and move on.
Okay. So, yeah, I can definitely look into that. The other point I wanted to make about the open positions was that I did talk to Tim about that. He said, no, we can move forward without having all of those positions appointed. However, the resolution does require that 7 of 10 approve. So if you get down to 8 people or 7 people, it may have to be a unanimous decision rather than simply, we don't have any language in there for a quorum or a majority or anything else. It just simply says 7 of 7.
Can we just go out anyway, and in the past, we've done non-binding bids for things, where we've gone out and we didn't have to accept the money. Can we do it in the form of a non-binding bid to go out public? so that they could even get it early. They could apply to us, we can do things quickly here. I don't,
Steve, you want?
I would just say, which commissioner's district do we need to have a new random lot draw for?
Oh, I don't know, he hasn't finished confirming it yet, I'm just simply saying there's one that we know of, and I'm not sure if that was the lot draw or the commission one, so
Okay.
Chris is still putting that information together for me,
It
so.
takes me about 2, maybe 3 days to come up with a new lot draw.
Yeah, I think yours is easier, because the other ones for the commissioners have to go out via application, and they
They have to
apply, and
interview,
they
yeah.
have to come before the commission, so, yeah, I
Interview.
think yours is quicker, but, yeah. So anyway, I just wanna put that on your radar, that that work is going on in the background, and if it comes up and we're moving with haste, that's why,
okay,
so.
I appreciate the heads up.
Yep. So other than that, that is all that I have.
To be honest with you, if we get that many back, we've done well.
Yeah, after a couple of years.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to, are we done with your?
I'm done,
part of it?
yes.
Okay. One thing I wanted to comment on, Travis and I were talking about, we need to get a little bit more aggressive at making sure we go out for competitive bids when we're doing stuff. Seems to be a lot of,
I'm already a supporter with you on that, I always have been, I don't like how we've become, I really
dependent
don't.
on one,
We're all good until we're not, is what happens.
Yep.
One person gets mad and the lawsuit starts, and it's just not necessary if we go out for competing bids.
so it
We've had a
really needs to
conversation with
become
Jim.
more of our policy that we don't just go to one, oh, well, they've always done it, so we're gonna have them do it.
Already there.
So let's use the free market and start getting competitive bids.
Yep.
That's,
Sounds good. I'll support that 100%.
okay. And we have to start pushing that forward in our housing and behavioral health, same thing. It just,
But we can also, we're one of the places we can hit, because it usually comes to you first before it even gets on our agenda. Could you let them know, one of the issues like the jail, it's already coming before us, we don't have time to react on it for the food and stuff like that. We need to get that a little earlier from them, so we can start to go out and see what that looks like.
Maybe that could be a topic on the agenda for the elected.
Yeah?
this really just for Travis's edification that he's gonna start demanding that, okay, did you get a competitive bid?
Yep.
When department heads or whoever comes in for stuff, is it, show me the competitive bids. Are we using the best prices, best practices, all those things? And that, I think, needs to.
And I'm a big supporter, we've already said to do it, but I'm a big supporter of Little League. I say that before I even start. But at some point, granted, they are the only ones that applied, but we won't know that unless we set it up for them to apply. That's what we just had the other day, or last week.
So can I circle back on the MOU one more time to make sure that
Yes,
it's
sir.
clear? Because I want to ensure that I've got this right. So we're going to revise the language to talk about the city of Bremerton paying for that. Is a dollar amount required from Loretta to put in there, or simply that we're going to wrap in the parameters of the feasibility
Yes.
study?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've agreed with that.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
No, I don't wanna be constrained to a dollar amount.
Thank you.
Or-
No, I'm with,
No, that's-
we all agree.
Yeah, perfect. And then I just have one thing, ask Mackenzie and Dave's departments to schedule the interviews for the committee appointments.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What committee?
There's a few.
DOE and.
Oh,
Board of
okay.
Health
I see what you're
and
saying.
Board of
Area
Health.
Agency on Aging, and then MTA.
I kinda thought we'd be doing them already, to be honest with you, so.
I believe we already have the LMT AAA scheduled.
Oh, good.
I was just waiting to hear back from Dave to see if that applicant qualified for the position.
Oh, right, I asked him, and
Yep.
he's checking on that.
He does.
We've got
Okay.
one guy
Yes.
on the Board
For the community
Board of
stakeholder.
Oh,
Equalization.
good, good,
right?
good. Fantastic.
You serve on that one, right?
Area Agency on
Yes.
Aging, yeah.
Would you mind, consider asking the the administrator or whatever to come and give us a breakdown of some of the services they provide. It's been a long, long, long time.
Yeah, well, we're actually scheduling, an event to go out to the hub, so I'll let you know when that's at.
Okay.
Senior Center is coming up, but yeah, I think I think it would be fun to have, maybe not fun, but have some of the committees that we serve on come in and just say, hey, this is what we do.
We used to, but bring along, not, it drives me crazy when they come in and they give us this 30 thing. I'd like to know the services so that we can provide them to our people when we're talking to them.
Oh, they
That's
have
what we
books.
are. We're traffic cops a lot, but we don't even know what the services are.
Yeah, we do have, we have two tomorrow. BOE, Board of Equalization, and TIPCAT,
Oh, yes, because we already interviewed them.
because we've already
Yeah.
interviewed and
Yep.
Yep.
selected those two, but
Yeah.
there's more.
So I have one thing and it says, only came this morning.
What'd you do?
It was her, actually, she made it worse. So Diedrich brought up that the school district has the kind that you pull the lever, flips up, you roll them out.
So the elections department,
Yeah,
They're awesome.
and he brought that up as well. It may be time, because these people have to set
could
this
we
stuff up.
please, I've been asking for well over 2 years.
So can we get a price break of what it looks like to get 3 or 4 of them? Because I understand they may be smaller, so 3 or maybe 4, we'll just get a price break, bring it to us so we can consider moving that
And
forward.
they roll, they're amazing.
So everybody's okay with that?
We can probably,
There you go.
we can probably get them from public surplus too, if
Yeah,
you want.
yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of those.
Kelly goes over there all the time, have him take a look at them while he's there. And if that's the case, have him bring up 4 or 5, we can store them at different places. Sure better than this.
We'll quit breaking things.
No, it was her.
I thought I was being helpful in fixing it, but I did not fix it.
That's where the whole idea came from, I just sat down.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move into our next meeting.
Second?
Oh, you mean the finance committee?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I was like,
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
I think we're done. I think we're done. I don't have anything else on my agenda. I gotta check. Nope, we're done. So, you're moving, we adjourn, and it's seconded, we're adjourned.
Okay.
We wanna reconfigure here. We're just huddle around what we got.
I think it works.
Okay.
Wherever it's comfortable.
Well, this is fun because I'm just a spectator.
I gotta get used to it. Definitely a little different.
You know, people say I've been looking too young.
Oh, yeah, that's what I heard.
Too young and too, it's like, okay, fine, I'll age, whatever.
I hear that all the time.
Sorry for the blue stripe on your car.
Wait a second.
Keys Auto Park. Nice car.
Okay, all right, so I've got a couple of extra just paper copies.
Do you want to
if anybody-
convene officially here
Oh,
at
I'm sorry.
12:13?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry, I'm learning. All right,
You're awesome.
thank you.
We appreciate you.
Take roll.
My nerves are,
You want me to take roll?
sure, yes, please,
Sweet.
thank you.
Commissioner Tarswell? He's present.
I'm here.
You're present, I'm present, okay.
That's
We're all
everybody.
here.
We are not voters.
Spectators.
Yeah. We pay attention and we participate with you, but we don't have a vote.
Yes, okay. Okay, well, I want to start out the 2025 fourth quarter Finance Committee report. And if we start on page 2,
Do you have
there's
a-
some, oh
a
yes,
copy?
yeah. There you go.
Actually, she.
Does anybody else need
I
one?
had one, she put one in my thing,
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay, so, I want to apologize
You're broken.
ahead of time here.
Have you ever gotten one of this little before?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. No,
There's not-
it's usually this thick.
There's nothing, there's no RID attached to it for the,
Not yet.
no, so that's in the works too, yeah, we're talking about that later. Anyhow, so when I compiled this report, you'll see a reserve deficit on here, and I want to apologize. I think that that's causing a lot of confusion.
And so, hasn't always been on the report. It was put on the report a little bit before the last treasurer left, and I think that it's causing more confusion than than anything, and I probably shouldn't be putting it on there because it's really not a true picture.
So, Madam Chair, we do have a resolution, though, a county resolution, where that number is supposed to be tracked. And
Oh,
when
okay.
when it goes negative, it says that there's supposed to be some discussion around what to do, if anything.
The
To,
problem is, it's not
correct the budget.
really negative.
Right.
Well, per the definition and the.
Yeah, but see, the definition is wrong.
Then we-
Unless, I may be looking at this
And I-
completely wrong, but
Then we
you've
need
got
to
a
change the
policy
ordinance.
balance at 25%.
Correct.
I'm gonna round these numbers off. You got
Sure.
$12 million, and then you've got extra reserves, which are the contingency, blah, blah, all those things, another $8 million, so that's $20 million. And then our balance is 24 million, so we're $4 million over what, I mean, if I just look at basic numbers,
That's us, though. I think what he's saying, if I'm, unless I'm misunderstanding, our policy says different, so
The
we need to
ordinance
change
says
our,
different.
we need to change our policy.
Or the resolution.
Or look at it, would you, I don't have it, so if you
Yeah, I
would
can
mind
send it
sharing
back
it with
to
us.
you guys if
Yeah,
you
just so
don't-
we can read, we can't, we're not, I don't even wanna adjust anything today, but
No.
I'd like to see what you're talking about.
It's driven by
I
resolution.
see what how you got to this 8 million here on the end.
Right.
But
Yes.
that doesn't make,
Running at
that
the
makes no sense to me.
25%.
I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
There's an old, it's a riddle, right? Three guys go into a hotel, they get one hotel room. The clerk tells them it's $30, they each give him $10. Decides later it's only 25. He gives 5 $1 bills to a bellboy, and he says, take this money back. Bellboy says, well, I can't divide that up evenly. He gives each one of them $3. They all paid $9. 9 times 3 is 27, plus the 2 the bellboy has. That's 29. Where's the other $1? It doesn't work that way. And that's the way I read this. It's like,
Right.
something's off with this. You can't take, you're adding the wrong things in the wrong place, as I take it.
So just again, we have a existing resolution, I'll send it out to all you guys. That resolution spells out how that number is to be calculated, and it says when that number goes negative, and it's a reflection on where we are with respect to reserves established by resolution at 15%, 20%, 25%. And it says if you go negative with respect to those reserves through that calculation, then the budget needs to be revisited or some mitigation needs to be
But
considered.
if I
And it
t-
may be nothing. that
If I
you wanna
take
do.
$12 million and I subtract 4 million, I don't get -8.
Well,
No, it's off the budget, though. We're budgeted for that.
Yeah.
But the question I have, and again, I'm just trying to figure this out as we go through it. A lot of times, you use the term plan. Now, you need to show it to me, because if that's what it says, what that means to me is, we don't even have to change our resolution, we have to plan. Otherwise, we plan to not expend such and such in our budget because we get so much reserve back, stuff like that. That's how I'm thinking in my head, for all the years I've been doing this, that's how the word plan is big difference between plan and must.
yeah,
to see
I
the
don't,
resolution.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Because we can discuss it all we want, all day
Yeah.
long with that, but
I'll have
we
to
don't
get you guys-
see
That's
it.
just how I reacted
Yeah.
to this.
I'll get you guys a
And I'm
copy of that
sorry
data
for
resolution.
that.
No, that's-
Don't be
well,
sorry.
No, you're supposed to do
I'm-
this.
We're supposed to have this
We've been
conversation.
seeing this before, the difference is.
You're doing great.
Is he's bringing up the policy, we'll all look at the policy, and
Yeah.
we'll adjust it, and that's not, you're bad.
Yeah,
It's for
and I
all
can
of us to
adjust
do
this
or
too,
not do.
this is just a spreadsheet, I mean, this can be
No, this is great.
revamped,
You're
reworded, however.
doing fine, don't sweat.
Yeah,
You're doing
You got
the,
this.
the right job. Our resolution says what it says and you're following it, and what that does is drives a discussion around what does that mean with respect to the required reserve levels at 15%, 20%, or 25%.
Yeah, and we can also talk about those other reserves, but it's another subject.
They're in a different
Yeah.
situation.
right.
But it may not
The
even be that
7.9.
difficult, it may be as simple as we plan it. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll look at it.
Okay. Okay.
Keep up the great work.
Thanks, I'm trying. I just, like, suggestions are great, so I'm learning too.
You're
so
more new at this than
there's-
I am.
We're learning together. Right? Okay, all right, so, third page. So our investment portfolio is doing awesome. We've got currently, we have 275,461,853.41 invested. That's what we have in our portfolio right now. As of December 31st of 2025, we had collected 2,334,773.35 in interest. So, yeah. So,
On the interest, do we keep all the interest for the investment for everybody? Does that stay within the county, or how does that work?
Yes. So we keep, that is kept with us. So okay, so there are investments that are done by like the school district and the ports and the hospital
Yes,
and that sort of
that's
thing.
what
And
I was actually
yes, yeah.
So they
So
keep
it's
their own?
broken out. We do an interest allocation, that
Okay.
they get every month, correct?
Okay.
Yes. And that's on, their investments in the LGIP.
Okay,
Okay, this is investments that we have as the county in
so the amount they take out is separated from this? So this is
correct, yes, yes,
all these years here, and I just learned something new.
And you're talking about this number, right?
yes,
Good.
yep.
That makes sense to me, because knowing where our money comes from.
Yeah, we have a report that we allocate those to every month on a receipt, and I could get you a copy of that too, if you ever
No,
want that, or.
I just didn't even, I missed
Yeah.
that part,
Yeah.
so I just got a piece of education,
Okay.
a piece of money to watch.
I've got something to share with you
You bet.
later that
Okay.
is something that may be happening in the future, so it's kind of
Okay.
a little nebulous, but it's pretty
Gotcha.
exciting.
Okay, oh, okay. Ooh, okay. All right. Okay, so, on page 5, we've got, of course, Loretta brought it up already, but it sounds like they're having a meeting, and she's gonna make us aware of that after the meeting. Just some updates on, I've been trying to keep open communication, on that. I sent out an email, was it last month, about the RID. Right now, our office has met with, bond counsel, as you guys know, and discussed, the costs, and right now, we're just kind of in a holding pattern, where the Public Works has, some items that they need to complete before we can move on. So, and I know they're working on that, they still have to do the appeals process, so we've done our part, now it's in their hands, it's a group effort, it really is.
So guys, I know that they didn't wanna take that money and do other stuff with it, but this is an example of why it sometimes is better just to do it, get it taken care of. Just for the future, that's what I was talking about in the beginning, that's part of being an old man and learning all these things. And it can get harder before it gets better on this one, but just keep working through it.
Yeah, yes, it's already been quite a long process. And I just came in on it halfway in between, in the middle of it, I should say, so. Yeah,
Madam Chair, so I know you're
yes,
in the middle of it.
Yep.
If you could shed a little more light or operational understanding of exactly what needs to be completed before.
Yeah, so, originally there was a little flow chart, which I can email you. And, let you know where we are at in it. That's kind of been our guide through this, is my
The project
understanding.
plan,
Mm-hmm,
flow chart?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm asking that for clarification for minutes purposes, right?
Okay.
I wanna be accurate.
Yep, so we are at, the treasurer's office, I should say, is at a standstill until, Public Works has completed some of their items, which one big one being the appeals process.
And can I ask a following question? Appeal for what?
So my understanding is the customers can appeal,
Okay.
The public.
the public.
I had somebody in
The-
my office last week who was
I talked to
very
someone on the
upset about
phone
it, so.
as well.
Very
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, and I talked to them for quite a while. unfortunately, there wasn't much I could help them with, but at least I was there to consult with, just to be an ear to listen.
Right.
But I referred them up to public works for that.
Very good,
so-
thank you.
so, yeah. And, I know Stephanie's not here to, kind of give us a rundown of what's going on with them.
You can ask her to
But
do it.
Loretta did mention something earlier.
This one?
Yep,
Mhm.
yeah. So I know that they're working on that. So, but we're just in a holding pattern until that's complete, so. But we're ready to, complete the loan once it gets to that. So. And that's all I have.
Did you cover page 4 already with our updated
I'm sorry.
debt?
Oh, yeah.
So
That-
do you remember what the interest rate was on this one, on the RD?
Oh, it was in I can get that to you. It's,
And how long it was?
10 years.
It was 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I have all that, on a report back at my office. I feel like the interest rate was like they gave us a range. It was like 4.5 to 5.5 or something.
what I'd like to ask for you.
But all that's gonna change. See, that's another thing, that we won't really know for sure until we do the final.
Yeah,
So they
close
just give it,
it,
yeah.
If you could get me.
And that was last,
an all-in cost.
October or November that they,
Right, it's
remember we
changed.
had all that, I presented all that in a pamphlet. Yeah.
But if you give me the all-in cost, what is it, because examples you're looking at here, we may pay this much in interest when we're collecting this much for money from our investments, but we're paying $18,000 to collect this interest.
Yeah, the bond fees.
Yeah, it all costs.
Yeah, at that time with that interest rate, at that time, the estimate was 196,206.40.
So for 180.
So, and that's,
18,000.
that is the final loan. We just don't know what our interest rate will be until our hope was to get this completed in the first
Now,
quarter
that's the final,
of this
that's the
year.
final loan paid off, you saying, or?
Yeah, that was
Because
the
then
final.
where's the 18,000?
That was, so I just broke it out. So the closing costs were an estimate of 18,000.
Okay, so
For
but
the bond fees
that's on
and the
top of the
closing.
178 then. So this is not the all-in cost, that's
The 196,206.40
that's
is,
the all-in with the 18,000, but not with the interest and stuff like that in 10 years.
right,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We won't have that amortization until the final closing, so. And I just don't know when that'll be, cause it's just been an ongoing, it's how much each step, the time that each step takes, I'm finding out is lengthy, so. We're just along for the ride.
But if we do an interfund loan, we can still charge interest and we can collect the interest.
And I think it was already decided that we weren't
It
going
was
to do
already said,
that.
I'm just sharing with the commissioners
Yeah,
because
for
this
sure.
type of stuff will come before us again. And that's one of the things I tried to explain before, but we just did.
Yeah.
Part of working together. We
Oh,
just
for
keep sharing
sure,
information
yes,
back
oh
and
yeah,
forth.
that's why we vote on to, yes, exactly. This is just the breakdown, on page 4 is the breakdown of our bonds and loans and the payments that have been made and the balances on each of those. So if you go through.
So this payment made for 25 or 26?
Yes, correct, fourth quarter 2025,
Fourth quarter,
as of
okay.
fourth quarter
Gotcha.
2025, yeah. And,
I like your format.
if you, thank you.
It's a lot like hers behind you.
So if you go down, it just lists all our, our current bonds and loans that we have, the Bellflower Sewer Extension and the balance left on that, the payment that was made on it last year of the $162,295.55 with the balance of $2,272,137.73 and so on. I didn't know if you wanted me to go through all of them or if you just want to look them over. This is just a just a spreadsheet showing the payments that have been made and the
I'm good
balances
with what you got.
on
I
them.
appreciate it.
So,
Yeah.
I
okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah, oh, of course.
I looked at it yesterday. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
That part does.
So, one thing I also wanted to bring up is, do we need to approve the minutes from the last
We do.
finance committee? Okay.
Yep.
And how do I just say,
He
are
makes a
we?
motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes from last finance committee meeting.
I'm.
I'll second it even though I wasn't there.
Okay. Any opposed to it? Okay, motion passes?
Okay.
Motion passes.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Does anybody else have anything that they want to
Generally, you
bring
want
up?
to ask for all those in favor, say aye.
Oh.
All those opposed, say nay. But that's,
Oh.
yeah,
It's
you'll
all
get,
right.
you'll get here.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. How's
There
that
you go.
sound? Is
Awesome.
that better?
Great job.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
All these formal things.
You're doing great.
Well, just, that's how we learn.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's patience with me. That's the one thing that I do appreciate, so.
It's like
And if
the-
there's anything you need to discuss with me,
the
I'd
stupid
rather
rules
you
for
come to me and
nominations.
tell me and.
Then attack you in the paper.
Yeah,
No matter-
right, yeah. No
You're
attacks,
fine.
no attacks in the paper, please. But anyhow, does anyone else want to bring anything up while we're here?
Just for the transparency for the board and for administrator, I've been having conversations with Public Works Director Loretta, asking for copies of our, and this is specific to the Belfair sewer system, going back to its early days, asking for copies of the applications for the grants, copies of the grants that were awarded, and then whatever documentation we have for money coming in and money coming out. And the intent is just to do a compliance audit, going back through that history, to verify that we were in compliance and we're still in
Could you
compliance.
share with us too?
Absolutely.
I would like to read it.
Yeah,
Anything
no,
you
it's, I'll report that back to you guys. But I want to know where that came from, because it wouldn't surprise me if Loretta picked up the phone and said, you know what the auditor's asking me for today? So, just wanted to put it out there, thank you.
So now you need a motion to adjourn.
All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
There she goes.
Motion passes.
Great job, great job.
We're adjourned at 12:32.
It's really pretty easy.
Thanks.
That's one of the
Just
faster
remember,
ones we've
she
had.